They can handle all runs that the other shoe can do. However, one shoe shines in a different department over the other shoe. So I've had a few requests for a comparison review between these two shoes. This is the ASICS Superblast 2 up against the Brooks Hyperion Max 2. So I'm going to go through their key features, their similarities and their differences, and hopefully from that, that's going to give you guys a great indication of choosing the right shoe for you. But before we get into it, a big shout out to my #1 running store, the Running Company at Geelong. I've got a link to their website in the description. Make sure you go check out that and check out all their running gear. And also guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with our quick specs, so you can see that the Superblast 2 is a $20 difference in both countries, so in Australia and in the US, so that is interesting. So it's a little bit more expensive for a Brooks shoe here in Australia. Now, nothing really between the weights there, as you can see. Wearing both these shoes on at the same time, can you really feel the difference in the weight? No, I can't. They both feel very similar. Now, stack heights, this is where we've got a big difference. So putting these shoes both on at the same time, again, the Superblast certainly does feel like the taller stack. But what is also interesting is the drop there. So 8mm drop in the Superblast over the 6mm drop in the Hyperion Max 2. Now, I actually feel, when I run in these shoes, I feel like that the Hyperion Max 2 has got the higher drop, but I think that has just got to do with the geometry of the shoe. And in our uppers here, so both these shoes do use engineered mesh, however, the materials feel very different. So with the Hyperion Max 2, what we've got here is it feels like a thinner type mesh, and it's more of a single layer. It's certainly more flexible through the toe box as well. Breathability in this shoe is pretty good. We've got a very solid heel cup here and a heel counter. We've got an Achilles flare, probably a minimal amount of padding around the heel collar, but it feels really nice and premium. So especially the materials that they use to cover the padding, yeah, everything in this shoe feels, really premium. We've got a stretch knit tongue, which is gusseted, and I think that's one of the best features in this shoe. That does a great job of locking the foot down on top of this shoe. We've got these notch style laces that you're probably familiar with in the Vaporfly, Alphafly, and also now in the ASICS Meta Speed series. But I love these laces. They do a great job to tie up. They don't come undone. Now the lockdown in this shoe, no issues whatsoever. And for the fit, in the length, it's true to size, and in the width, I'm going to say it's normal, even though it does state that it is a performance fit. So it doesn't feel like that you're really hugged down like a regular performance fit or a race shoe feels. It certainly feels, it's quite generous through the toe box. There's a bit of width there, and there's also a bit of volume. Now in the Superblast 2, again, as we said, engineered mesh. However, this material that they use here is quite thick, and it does remind me of a knit, but it's definitely not a knit. However, with the thick material, it's not overly hot, and the breathability is still very good in this shoe. Again, solid heel cup, just like the Hyperion Max 2, but instead of our Achilles flare, we've got a pull tab, which I really haven't had to use. We've got more padding around the heel collar here in the Superblast. And our tongue is totally different as well. We don't have a stretch knit tongue. We've got a bit of a thinner tongue, but it is still gusseted. There's a couple of pads on the tongue as well, just to take the laces pressure off. We've got a pretty standard lacing system here, so it don't have the notch flashy laces like you do in the other shoe. But the lockdown in this shoe is still excellent, so no issues whatsoever. The fit in this shoe is also true to size, and in the volume, it's also pretty good. And in the width, I'm going to say it's normal and quite generous too. So matching these two shoes side by side, they both feel like they're about the same length and about the same width and about the same amount of volume in the toe box. And with our outsoles here, so two very different designs going on here, as you can see. So with the Hyperion Max, what you can see there, we have got lots of rubber coverage. So the entire forefoot is covered by rubber. And also they've just got some rubber here in the high wear areas. They've got exposed foam through the middle of the shoe. And they've got a big cutout or a big crevice through the middle of the shoe as well, where you can see the exposed speed vault plate. Now they've actually got a bit of a gap through the forefoot here, just to help that midsole splay a little bit and add a little bit of bounce or a bit of softness to the ride. But there is a lot of rubber coverage in this shoe. The grip in this shoe is excellent. So in the dry, it's always excellent. It's okay in the wet, so it's still good in the wet, but it's not as good as the Superblast, so that ASICS grip too. But this grip, it's sort of engineered for speed, so it doesn't really have any lugs or anything on it like you're going to find in the Superblast. But durability, there's hardly any signs of wear in this shoe, so durability in this shoe is absolutely excellent. And what we've got here in the Superblast, as you can see there, the rubber on the bottom of this shoe is ASICS grip, market leader. It is probably unbeatable in the grip department in all conditions. So I can only think of ASICS grip and also Puma grip pretty much up there. Like, they don't falter in any conditions. So, but this one has got little lugs on it, so it's certainly designed to go on a few more surfaces, more so than the Hyperion Max 2. And you can see by the rubber coverage here, they don't have it, it's not all one piece. They've just got it in segments, and that's obviously to let this midsole breathe a little bit, or let this midsole splay a little bit, just enhancing the ride of the shoe, because when shoes have too much rubber on it, it really constricts the midsole and it can affect the ride. But durability in this shoe as well is always excellent, and they've also fixed up the little issues that they had in the first Superblast. They had these little holes throughout the bottom that used to catch rocks and seeds. They don't have that anymore. And now it's just, all that orange stuff is just exposed foam. And in their midsoles here, so two very different concepts going on here as well. So with the Brooks, so the foam that they use here is DNA Flash. Now, it's their V2 version, and that's a nitrogen injected foam. So nitrogen injected foams feel quite different than other foams on the market. They're usually a little bit firmer. There's less sink into these type foams. Now, within their DNA Flash, they have got their speed vault plate, but it's not a carbon plate. It's made out of P-backs, I've heard reports, but it feels very much like plastic. But there is a bit of flex in this plate, as you can see. So there's just enough rigidity in that plate to give this shoe some form of snapback and to hold that firm nice and steady. But yeah, it's nothing like a carbon plate. So I could not do this with a carbon plate or it would snap. But yeah, good amount of snapback there. Now, geometry-wise, this shoe has got a 4-foot rocker, as you can see here. And it's certainly situated more towards the performance end of the shoe. So closer to the toes is more, you get most use out of it when you're running faster. And in the Superblast, so they've got a bit of a dual density thing going on here. So they've got their brand's premium race day foam, their Super Foam FF Turbo Plus, and that makes up the majority of foam in this shoe. So huge slab of that. And then under that, they've got their more of their daily trainer type foam, their FF Blast Plus foam, but that still is an exciting foam as well. So there is no plate in this shoe, unlike what you're going to find in the Hyperion Max. However, this is a rigid shoe. So this shoe has got more rigidity than the Brooks shoe, which is very, very surprising, considering that that one's got a plate and this one does not have a plate. Now, geometry-wise as well, this has got a 4-foot rocker. However, it's not as prevalent and it's not as aggressive as what you're going to find in the Brooks, and it's further back in the shoe. So it feels more like a little bit more traditional than the Brooks, and obviously this one accommodates jogging a little bit better. And in our ride, so both these shoes offer very different experiences, but if you've watched my reviews on just the single shoe, you'll probably know that they share some characteristics. So I both describe these shoes as both on the firmer side in their ride, but when comparing them together, they certainly feel different. So the Brooks is actually the firmer shoe here. So there is less sink into this shoe, and this shoe feels more responsive. It feels like the faster shoe. It's more rocketed. However, in the Superblast 2, yes, it does feel softer. You sink into this shoe more. There's more bounce and there's more energy return. But if I can say efficiency-wise, I think that the Brooks feels like the more efficient shoe because there is just less sink, and the rocker just feels like it helps tick the legs over a little easier than what you do in the Superblast. Both shoes feel super stable, but I probably feel more safe in the Superblast 2, and I think that's just because of its nice big wide platform. Overall comfort of each ride, I think that the Superblast 2 is certainly the more comfortable ride as well. And best shoes for both these shoes, so yes, they are both versatile shoes, but however they shine in different areas. The Superblast 2 it's your long run shoe. It's going to eat up your daily miles. That's where its happy place is. Where the happy place for the Hyperion Max is your workout. So it feels like a workout shoe. to get the most out of this shoe, you've got to be running fast. Your tempo workouts, your threshold workouts. You could probably race in this shoe as well. It lacks a little bit of wow factor. However, very efficient, very responsive. And just wrapping it up here, so both these two shoes are very versatile. They can handle all runs that the other shoe can do. However, one shoe shines in a different department over the other shoe. So just remember, this is more like your daily trainer. It's a daily trainer on steroids. It feels best at your easy day runs. It's going to handle your long runs. Really comfortable shoe. Where your Hyperion Max 2, it's going to feel better for your workouts and your faster stuff. You're going to feel faster in this shoe. You're going to feel more responsive. So where is your hole in your shoe rotation? And that's going to give your answer to which shoe is right for you. But anyway, guys, that's it from me. I hope you liked that one. Any questions regarding these two shoes, please just drop that in the comments below. And again, thank you for the suggestions. If you've got any more suggestions of what other shoes you would want compared, just let me also know in the comments below. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.